The Nifty 50 index has now declined for the third straight day, and we have seen substantial weakness in all the major indices. Hello and welcome. Shraddha and I are here to give you a wrap of all the market action today. And with that, Shraddha, I'm going to hand it over to you. We have seen weakness, albeit it's been a range-bound session, but well, one more day of declines today.
Absolutely, Agam. Range-bound session is exactly, it was the way that you said it. The Nifty was trading between 9120 and 9160, so absolutely narrow 50 point range. Minor gains and losses in opening trade, and the right geopolitical concerns get investors from taking big bets. Weaker currency markets also forward dental sentiments locally. However, the Nifty index ended almost unchanged, a loss of just 11 points, and at 9139. Agam, the India VIX, however, continues to hold below 12.
Yes, so this may be taken as something of a worrying factor because when the India volatility index remains so low for so long, there's always a chance of some weakness creeping in because eventually the VIX has to move up. This has been a concern for a lot of time, and this may be something that a lot of traders and options traders specifically will be watching out for. Speaking of options, let's take a look at what's happened in the options market today. We have seen a rise and increase in the 9,100 call as well as the put. Similarly, with respect to open interest, considering the fact that we are further away from the 9,200 level, we have seen an addition in the 9,200 call as well. This is where we are looking at substantial writing. With respect to open interest and maximum OI out there, we are looking at 9,000 put on the lower end and the 9,300 call on the upper end. So still looking at about a 300-point range as far as the Nifty is concerned, at least in the near term. Nothing much has changed there, and the range has just gotten narrower with the India volatility index remaining low. So at least based on these factors, we could expect a move going into the next few days.
Alright, so when it comes to the Nifty movers for the day, it was the energy stocks like GAIL India and Reliance Industries which were doing well. GAIL sitting on gains of as much as 4%. Indiabulls Housing Finance also taking cues from the Indiabulls group of companies which were doing really well today. We'll talk more about that later. Grasim Industries also, the foreign investors limit has been hiked to 49%, so some positive move there also. On the other hand, you had Bharti Infratel shares which lost nearly 3%. NTPC also giving up as much as 3%. Now that was one of the 7 state-listed companies for whose stake sale the government is seeking legal firms to advise. So stake sale talks really pulling that stock lower. That apart, you also have Sun Pharma, which was driven by news of US FDA inspection at the company's Dadra facility. Now this is the second most important facility after Halol, so there's bound to be some nervousness in these stocks. So this was as far as your Nifty movers were concerned.
So Shraddha, naturally in the mid-cap space, the stock of the day is Indiabulls Realty. And given the fact that in the futures and options space, it was in a band, we have seen a lot of unwinding with a decline of as much as 12% in open interest. This is of course because the stock has moved up substantially, and the reason behind is that certain news that we are getting.
Absolutely, Agam. So Indiabulls shares surged as much as 42% on the news of a unit spin-off plan. So that stock rose the most since March 2007. So in as much as a decade. Now the company's restructuring drive, the market believes, could probably lead to some value unlocking, and hence you saw that kind of a move coming in. Earlier in the morning, the company issued a statement saying that the board considered demerger and listing its commercial assets unit. And on the back of that, DLF has also taken some cues and ran up as much as 8%. So both the index heavyweights, Indiabulls Real Estate and DLF, of course, these two stocks itself are contributing as much as 75% to the BSE Realty Index's rally. That was also up 9%, biggest jump since November 2009. That apart, Agam, another interesting move came on the Indiabulls group stocks as well. So you had Indiabulls Ventures, which is locked at a 5% upper circuit, Indiabulls Wholesale Services, which is locked at a 20% upper circuit. So real estate as well as Bulls group of company doing well on the back of the board consideration only.
Sure, and you know, some of those stocks will also feature in the Nifty 500 top gainers. But because of the fact that the market breadth is slightly negative, I'm going to start off with the losers. I'm going to start off with Bajaj Corp, which has declined by 6.4%. This is on the back of, well, a very subdued set of earnings coming in from Bajaj Corp. In fact, we've seen a little bit of a decline, not only in revenues, but also in profitability on a year-on-year basis. Not too much, but a decline all the same. Reliance Communication is also down 4.3%, followed by Den Networks. We've seen weakness in Swan Energy. DCB Bank also declining by 3.5% on the back of earnings. Grindwell Norton, Power Finance Corp, as well as RBL Bank, all declining by as much as 3%. Coming to gainers, as Shraddha was mentioning, we have seen substantial gains in Indiabulls Real Estate, Ratan India Power, DB Realty, Fortis Healthcare, Anantraj, HDFC, as well as a lot of other realty stocks doing well, as you can see here, along with Polaris Consulting, which has also gained as much as 8.5% in today's day of trade. So on the whole, you know, the momentum is clearly with the gainers, despite the fact that the market breadth is slightly negative. And this is a continuation of the trend that we saw last week as well. You know, while the market breadth continued to remain negative, on the whole, there were more gains for the gainers as compared to losers. But of course, we are looking at a very important week with respect to earnings, not only from information technology, but banking as well. And of course, this scene will most certainly change going into this week. This is all that we have for today. Stay tuned in a Bloomberg Quint, and of course, we'll bring you lots more on earnings even as we move into the next couple of days.